Welcome back to Chortle Cast.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Chortle Cast. I'm Jake.
And I'm Brody.
And this is Chortle Cast, the official podcast of Chortle Games, where we can talk about movies, TV show, anime, anything we want to talk about, whatever the crap we want to talk about. But today, we're talking all about E3. ETH. And everything that happened in the week of E3. So, this is going to be our coverage of just kind of talking through what happened, what we're excited about, all that good stuff. But we're not alone today. We have a special guest.
That sounds scary.
Who I'm going to bring in right now. I'm turning his audio back on. Steven, say hey to everybody.
Hey, let's go.
This is Steven. This is one of our good buddies from back in our hometown. He is very knowledgeable about E3 and video games. Steven, what kind of video games do you like?
Really pretty much anything but sports.
I think that's the thing.
I think that's I feel like that's what most gamers would say.
Yeah.
So anyway, Steven has been following E3 with us. He's done some tweeting for our channel and whatnot. So we wanted to bring him in to just kind of help discuss all that's been announced and what we're excited for coming in the next year. So we're gonna dive right in. So let's get started, guys. Let's talk first. Let's go through just the conferences. Just real general, what did you guys think about the conference? We can take it conference by conference. What did y'all think about Microsoft? Or EA? EA started us off.
Y'all have to talk about that because I was working during EA.
Okay, so EA to me, I feel like they're always coming to E3 having to apologize for something they did in the year.
Yeah.
Because, EA is known as, America's worst company. That's what a lot of people call it. That's been said. And so I feel like often EA's got a really bad rap, and then at E3, they kind of redeem themselves a bit.
Right.
And I feel like they did a little bit. They talked a bit too much about sports, and like I just said, we all know how I feel about sports, but it's understandable. It's a large market for them.
When we were talking about in our predictions, we kind of went to the EA conference, and I looked at Brody, and I was just like, sports games? And that's about all it was.
Yeah.
I just figured Battlefield or Titanfall, maybe.
Yeah, they opened with Battlefield, and it was a pretty extensive DLC that they're doing that adds a lot more as far as soldiers and guns and stuff like that, which sounded pretty good. That was smart to start with because it's been received really well. And then they kind of went from there and then jumped straight into the sports for 30 minutes.
Yeah. What did you think about ending with 30 minutes of Battlefront gameplay?
That's
Battlefront
exactly
2.
what they needed to do.
Yeah?
Because they knew that's what they did last year.
Mm-hmm.
See, last year, the year before that, they knew that everybody was there for Star Wars, and they were going to hold everybody just hostage for that Star Wars footage. And that's what they did, and it worked. And I think that was 2 years ago, actually. And this time around, they had a lot of skeptics there, and they showed them this massive siege-style gameplay, which is what a lot of people said was missing from Battlefront 1.
Right.
And it looked great. It looked like it plays great. I'm kind of sold on it, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't play the first one, but I had a couple friends who did, and I'm definitely more interested now, knowing there's at least a story mode that I can go in. But anyway, well, let's not hark too on EA. What would you give it if you had to give it a grade? I mean, I'd say a B or a C, something like that. It was a fine conference.
I'll say a 1 because I didn't watch.
I would say a B minus because A Way Out was really good. We'll talk more about that later. Star Wars basically carried the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had heard more about their other titles from Star Wars because we got one coming from Respawn, the guys from Titanfall.
Right.
But we didn't hear anything about it. And if we had heard more, that would have bumped him probably up to a B plus for me, but
yeah.
B minus, I think.
All right, let's talk about Microsoft. What did y'all think about that? Other than that car. That car, though. I know more about that car than I do any of their games they talked about. I thought Microsoft's was very after they got past that car, which was in the first 10 minutes or something. I thought they were really on a roll until the end of the conference when we kind of found out, all these exclusives are either launch exclusives or not even exclusives at all.
Right, they were very liberal with the word exclusive.
Yeah. I think some of it was even just exclusive first look.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Right.
But they just kept harking on exclusive, which in the moment, I mean, if you watch our reactions videos, we're like hyped. We're like, oh my God, exclusives. Like, I don't even like Xbox. I don't even want to play on my Xbox, but I'm excited. But all in all, I think that was probably one of the better conferences they've done.
I thought it was really good. Like I said, that I was not looking forward to Microsoft at all. Like when you said that we were going to stream Microsoft's live conference or whatever, I was just like, this is going to be terrible because I'm not going to be excited about any of the games. And I probably ended up, you guys didn't even get to see it because it got blocked. That was probably one of like my biggest reactions from entire E3.
I'm sure we'll talk about this game later. We're gonna talk more in depth about games in a second, but just right now we're talking about kind of conferences. But yeah, Brody's reaction to Anthem was insane. He was losing his mind.
React so positively.
You got to watch it before it got taken down, right?
Yeah, I watched you guys live.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Brody was freaking out.
That didn't get to stay up, so.
Well, but they showed a lot of games regardless.
Yeah,
and that's what they needed to do. Yeah. That's all that I want to see in a conference, honestly. I want to know what kind of games to look forward to. I
don't want to listen to You Will Be Sucked or any of the other things.
What?
Have you not seen that? It was like, I can't remember what his name is, but it was some guy that was talking for Konami, I think.
Uh-huh.
It's just like really weird. I'd have to pull it up. But during the thing, he's just like, game is good. You will be sucked or something. That's like, what?
Well, alrighty then. Alright, what was after Microsoft? Was it Ubisoft or Bethesda?
He had something
to say. I'm sorry. Steven, did you have something to say? Any other comments on Microsoft?
I just want to touch on Microsoft real quick. Definitely minute for minute, they had the most, because it was an hour and 44 minutes long total.
It was really long.
And they started off super slow, like you said, once they got past the car. When they hit Metro Exodus, that was when I was all in. They got me just eating out of their hand when they started with Metro Exodus, and they just didn't stop giving us games.
Yeah.
From that point. And they really set the precedent for the rest of the weekend, the conferences, where we expected just games. Show us all the games, like you were just saying.
Right.
And the rest of the conferences honestly delivered. Like, there was not much downtime. They were moving really fast, and that's honestly what I think everybody wanted to see.
Yeah, Microsoft had a little too much fat on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they were just trying to cram in more games. Because other than the car at the very beginning, I can't think of a time where it lagged or like was slow. But it was so long.
When they announced original Xbox backwards compatibility.
Yeah. Because I think that was like right at the hour mark, and he was like, "We have one more trailer," and then they showed like 10 more or some shit.
Yeah, it was long. That was a long conference. So Bethesda was next.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What'd y'all think about Bethesda? I'll tell you this. I liked how quick it was, but I was not impressed by any of the announcements.
I wasn't either.
So the problem with Bethesda is they were like, hey guys, we're doing this super special thing. We're theming it like a theme park. We're going to make you wait till 9 p.m. their time, 11 p.m. our time.
Gosh, yeah, that was so late.
And latest conference ever. I'm pretty sure Jeff Keighley confirmed that on his coverage. And so everybody was like, oh man, they're making us wait. It's going to be worth it. But it wasn't. Like, there was nothing like shattering about that. Wolfenstein looked really good. I really enjoyed the showcase for that. And Evil Within looked pretty good too.
Right.
But it was disappointing.
I was going to say, Wolfenstein's trailer made me want to go back and play the first ones. I've never played them, but I was like, I want to try this out.
I'd argue that was probably the biggest announcement they made. Everything else was just kind of an update. Yeah. Like, I mean, we've already known about that VR coming to Fallout and Skyrim, and I'm pretty sure someone else had already shown it. No. Maybe that was later. Sony showed it again later.
Yeah, Skyrim VR wasn't announced till Sony, I think.
Maybe that's what it was. But either way, we already knew about that VR coming. So it was like, okay, cool, it's working now? I don't know. So,
yeah. I mean, a lot of people were looking forward to Evil Within 2, but that wasn't for me, so.
Well, I really loved watching that horrible, scary trailer in the dark in my bedroom at 11 o'clock at night.
While your wife was asleep.
Yeah, while my wife was asleep. So as soon as that started and I realized it was a scary game, I just told myself, I was like, don't scream. Don't scream. Don't scream. So I kind of like just nullified myself. But anyway, yeah, I wasn't real impressed with any of that. I liked how they did it. Like, it was very quick.
Yeah.
There was, the cartoony theme kind of got old towards the end, but I appreciated that it was consistent and that it just kept it flowing. I mean, they didn't have anybody come out and speak really other than one or two times.
I like the thing at the beginning. Sorry, that was them asking like their kids like what their parents did.
That was sweet. I enjoyed that. I liked that.
Bethesda, their theme ever since they started doing a press conference was the humanity behind the company.
Right.
And it works every time. It is cool to get to see these people behind these games. And it was cute getting to see the kids. But for me, I think the only good part about Bethesda's conference was the fact that every single thing they showed was for this year.
Right.
There was not a single thing on there that was 2018. It was all coming this fall or this summer or
That's very
else.
true. That's true. Yeah, a lot of these other ones are 2018s.
Yeah.
Okay. Ubisoft was next after that, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What y'all think about Ubisoft? I was in and out of that one, so I'll let you guys take the coverage there.
Steven, you said that people were saying that was the best conference, weren't you?
People were saying unanimously that as far as third-party developers go, so, EA, Bethesda, Ubisoft, that Ubisoft did by far the best. And I tend to agree with third-party, but third-party had a really low bar leading into Ubisoft. Not to say they did bad.
Right,
They did
right.
good, but, I don't know. There was nothing...
It's because they had Miyamoto. That's the only reason theirs is
Well,
good.
and Aisha Tyler wasn't there, but...
Poor Aisha.
Oh, but they still did. They got rid of Aisha Tyler,
but they still had Just Dance.
They still kept the Just Dance thing.
Those Sub-Zero backup dancers, though.
So like every year.
And
it's just
the
like,
gangster polar bear. Was it a panda bear or a polar bear? I think it was a panda bear.
Panda.
Like a panda bear that looked like it was on meth. Came out and started dancing with Sub-Zeros.
That's the thing I dread every year is seeing that. Because last year was Jason Derulo singing.
Yeah.
And like,
Was it last year?
yeah, I think so.
Oh my gosh.
But like, that was so bad. Like,
It blows my mind, but that is one of their best-selling franchises.
Yeah.
that's
Now, I don't think at all that audience is watching E3, but
No.
I understand why they have to do it. But at least they kept it kind of short.
they probably never even heard of
Yeah,
it.
they normally, they dragged, usually, for Just Dance, but for this year, they were very quick. They just showed, hey, this is what we got, it's coming out this day, now we're done, and then they moved on, never to be heard of again.
I was just gonna say, like, two of the most awkward things to me that I saw from the conference was the chick that started singing in the middle of it. That was like, "Hey, I'm here. They wanted me to talk about this game," and then the YouTube creator Jesse.
Oh, that was at EA.
Yes.
That was at EA.
So bad.
He was my favorite because he was so terrible, and I felt a mixture of bad for him, but also not bad at all.
Do we know what happened there? Did his teleprompter mess up, or did he just get stage fright?
The worst thing was just that he was like, "Here's my friend Marcus. All right, thanks, Nick."
Yeah, he called him Marcus, and then he was like, "Thanks, Nick," and then he hesitated because we don't know, was the guy's name Marcus or Nick? I'll never know because I was given two different names. But yeah,
I'll never
I don't know
know.
what went wrong. It definitely looked like he had a prompter because his eyes were darting.
I feel like his prompter messed up, or it flew past where he was supposed to be, and so he kind of had to wing it. So,
But at the same time, it's like you literally came up here. You're just talking about Need for Speed. Just it's a racing game. Just that's all you got to know. You don't even need a script for this. Just say like, "Oh, we're really excited."
He's just like, "It's a good game," and I'm a YouTube content creator.
Does he play Need for Speed or anything? Like, is he Like a big gaming.
No, he was the boyfriend versus girlfriend.
I know him from that, boyfriend versus girlfriend. But I'm just wondering, is that like, does he play Need for Speed a lot? Is that why he's on there? Or
I think considering how hard he crashed and burned, he has never touched a Need for Speed game.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. All right, well, let's talk about Sony then. I loved how fast-paced they were.
Oh, definitely.
Is it Sean? Sean Layden, the CEO of Sony, is that his name?
I have no
That
clue.
sounds right.
Anyway, he wasn't out there but 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at the beginning to intro everybody in, and then at the end to kind of say, thanks for watching, here's one more thing, and then done. And I loved it.
I like that Sony's taking that, and I guess everyone else is kind of like taking hints from it too.
Yeah.
Of like, we just need trailers. Because I saw like a comment from, I think like the head of Xbox or something, and he like the quote was just, people just want games, and I was like, okay, at least y'all understand that now. And It's like, because the first time they talked about Xbox, they talked more about it being like this big like streaming device, basically, of like all the TV and stuff you could watch on it, and it was like, no one cares about that.
Yeah. I also really liked their production value. I mean, that orchestra thing at the beginning, I didn't like what they did this year for the orchestra as much as I did last year, but that waterfall was freaking cool.
Yeah.
Like, if we had the full orchestra and that waterfall, I would have been blown away.
And the snow, and for like Days Gone, they had the bodies hanging.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And there was fire on something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter, maybe?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I liked how they did all that. But
I actually read a quote from the president of Sony World Entertainment or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name, but he said that they intentionally were holding back for E3 because they wanted more for later in the year.
Yeah,
So
they have
a lot of
PSX
people,
sometime.
What?
They have PSX sometime.
it's like really soon. It's December, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's December. But that makes sense to me because a lot of stuff we just didn't hear about. Like, I don't know where Final Fantasy VII is in development, but I expected to at least hear about it.
Yeah.
And we just didn't. So, what?
Well, I was just gonna say, with that being the case, I wish they had told us about what's coming out this year, and stuck to just this year and saved some 18 stuff for later. I mean, really, the only complaint I have about their conference is I feel like it was a pretty strong rehash of what they did last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, we saw Days Gone?
Days Gone, but they went a lot. I was a lot more impressed with Days Gone this year
time,
than last year.
Because last year it was just basically the character running around this map, running from just this collective of zombies. But this year they showed there's open world, there's stealth mechanics, you gotta be smart.
There's zombears.
Yeah.
There's some bears. Yeah. That I think they did a better job of explaining a lot of their games that they showed off last year, this year. But I mean, by and large, the ones that stick out in my head from their conference are the ones that we saw last year.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So,
I did like though, as opposed to Microsoft, we said they, didn't really have a lot of exclusives. Sony was almost all exclusives.
Right.
They made me happy to be a PlayStation owner. And I'm not sure if a lot of people who played Xbox walked away from Microsoft saying the same thing.
Yeah, I certainly didn't, other than maybe one or two of the things that were announced at Microsoft that we still don't even know if they're exclusive. Mm-hmm. There was only maybe one or two of those that said, I might look into that and see if I want it. But none of it was just like, I have to have that, like God of War or Spider-Man.
Microsoft that I can name off the cuff were State of Decay 2, Crackdown 3, and Sea of Thieves.
Right.
And that was it.
Yeah. Sea of Thieves is one of the ones that I'm interested in. But,
oh, yeah.
All right, let's wrap up. Nintendo. What'd y'all think? I thought almost probably the most perfect out of all of them.
They talked about a lot more new stuff than I thought they would.
Yeah. They had a lot of announcements. First off, 25 minutes. Shortest conference by far. But they had plenty of good announcements, and they had plenty of things that fans wanted to hear. We wanted to hear about a Pokemon Switch game, which we heard about. We wanted to hear about a Metroid game, which we heard about. fact, we heard about 2. It just came later.
Yeah.
So I was more than happy. I wish they hadn't have spent any times on Splatoon or ARMS, because we've heard plenty about those in the last couple months. Especially, I don't know if either of y'all have been watching Treehouse Live, but it's been every other time I check in on it, it's Splatoon or ARMS.
Yeah, every single time I checked on Treehouse while I was watching Rooster Teeth the past few days, it's been Splatoon.
Yeah.
I watched some of the competitive of ARMS, and it's insane.
Oh, I didn't watch the ARMS. I watched the Splatoon Invitational, and it was awesome. I had a blast watching that. But, yeah, I don't know. By and large, though, I was really, really excited about everything that Nintendo talked about.
Yeah.
Almost all of those games I have pre-ordered or am waiting to pre-order when they become available.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel that way in Sony, and I didn't feel that way in Microsoft, and I didn't feel that way in Ubisoft. So I feel like the fact that I went and pre-ordered almost all of those really says something. But
And we keep interrupting you, Steven. Sorry.
Oh no, I have nothing to say about Nintendo. That's literally what I was going to say. Was I didn't watch it. I was at work, so.
Oh, that's right. We had to. Yeah, we were giving you updates, but we were too busy as well.
Yeah, I was definitely excited to hear about a new Metroid. That's a series that I haven't given as much time as I wish I could have.
Right.
But I'm definitely happy to see that it has a place in Nintendo's future.
Yeah. Awesome. So what I want to do from here is I want us to just kind of talk about games that we're excited about. So we're not going to cover every game that was mentioned at E3 or anything by that. That would take way too long. That would be a podcast you wouldn't want to listen to. But I do want to go around and just talk about, what our top 3 things were. And I'm sure we'll overlap a little bit so we can kind of discuss about it. But let's just one at a time. I'll name one, you name one, Steven, you name one.
Okay.
I am probably most excited about Mario Odyssey.
Yep.
That was one of the biggest announcements, and almost all of mine are Nintendo. So that intro that they showed in the Direct, Steven, I don't know if you've watched any reacts or anything like that or rewatched it, but basically they show this open field. It looks like a cliff. You see this dinosaur walk in. We're both like, dinosaur, what is this? And then we're thinking maybe another Monster Hunter, maybe something else. And the T-Rex turns and cocks its head. And you see just a little red cap on the top of his head, and it pops out eyes. And we're both like, Mario Odyssey? And then it goes into the trailer, and we see the whole Cappy capture character thing where you can play as any enemy, some objects you can play as.
It's just.
It was insane.
Both times that they've showed Mario Odyssey, at the Switch reveal, I think was the first time they showed it, and at E3, both times has been like, what is this?
Yeah.
Because the first time was the city, and we were like, everyone was just kind of like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
And then Mario popped up out of the sewer, and everyone was like,
Mario?
In a city? What? So, yeah, I like that they keep throwing us for spin.
It looks really, really good. I think it's taking some of the direction that Breath of the Wild did. I don't think it's going to be quite the rehash or redoing of a series. I think it's going to take a lot of things from Breath of the Wild that are going to be good, but I don't think it's going to be Breath of the Wild status. But
I'm ready to ride
I'm excited.
Stone Lion.
The Stone Lion, that they're called Jaxies, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Been watching a lot of Treehouse Live of that, but the only thing I'm worried about is we haven't heard anything about this game until the Switch reveal. No, I didn't hear any rumors. I didn't know anything about it. They showed that, and then at E3 they announced it's going to be out October, I think 27th of this year.
Yeah. Wow.
So we've really only heard of this 2 times, and we're going to be playing it in a few months.
I'm okay with that.
I love it. I love it. I'm just a little worried that I think we've seen 4 worlds or 4 kingdoms from the game already. I'm just a little worried that there's only 4 worlds. I want 8 worlds, but
they're not going to show everything before the game comes out.
Well, I know that, but I don't know. That's my fear.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What'd you think, Steven?
Of Mario Odyssey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really like what I've seen so far. I've never been big into Mario outside of just playing it when my friend plays it. I do love the fact that the capture mechanic is in itself is a word pun.
Cappy.
Capture.
Yep. I realized that as soon as I said it.
Yep. But that's my favorite part. But,
yeah.
Steven
likes
really
puns.
Cool. Like, I've heard people say that it's more akin to Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
Which is apparently what Mario fans have been wanting. So good on them.
Yeah.
For keeping the success going from Breath of the Wild. Because they've got great momentum right now. And if they can knock a Mario game out of the park, then they are just going to keep trucking.
Talking about your experience with Mario other than watching someone else play, I found out today they have co-op in the game. One person, you can break off the Joy-Cons, hand it to a friend, and they can control Cappy, and you can still walk around as Mario. And, like, you can both control the camera, so both of you can walk around, but, like, Cappy can't go one way and Mario can't go the other without one of them being off camera. But it's cool because whoever's Cappy is invincible. So they can just spin around and
so
do...
it's like Sonic and Tails for the Sega.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
they can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And it's cool because, like, they showed some stuff where, like, they had to carry a seed from one part of the world to another. But, like, once you're carrying that seed, you can't attack. But if you have a second player with you, they can be Cappy, and they can just spin around you and protect you from enemies. So it was kind of cool. I don't know. I wasn't expecting that. So
yeah, it's like the ultimate like big brother little brother problem. It's
Oh
like,
yeah,
I want to play, and it's like,
Yeah.
here you be the Cap.
Here you can be Cappy.
That's how Sonic was with me. My brother would always play Sonic, and I'd be like, "Hey, can I play?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, just here, play the stupid sidekick Tails." He'd use me as a meat shield.
I feel like getting to be Tails is probably a little bit nicer than being told to be a hat.
Maybe.
Yeah, fair.
All right, Brody.
I was gonna say, Steven, what is your number one?
Okay.
My number one.
Yeah, what's your number
My
one?
number one right now.
Go for it. We gotta get Anthem. Okay.
Anthem for sure. For those of you that didn't watch, Anthem was Microsoft's big reveal from EA, BioWare, so Dragon Age, Mass Effect, those guys, and it is a persistent online third-person co-op shooter that just looks like Destiny meets Mass Effect all in an exosuit, which I wasn't prepared for it.
Brody, you weren't prepared for it either.
I wasn't at all.
I know Brody wasn't prepared for it.
Well, so what are you guys? And Brody, I know you're excited about that one too. What are y'all looking most forward to with that one?
At this point, just the exploration for me. Just because flying around seems like the coolest. Like, I don't know. It's like in Destiny you have a sparrow, cool. And like in other games you get around in cars and stuff. In this game you freaking fly, and that's cool.
You just freaking skydive from the tower and just fly wherever you want.
Seriously, you can fly underwater. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely the traversal of the world, because according to them, it's going to be just this massive world playground for you to explore, which is great. But for me, it's, I'm a sucker for a co-op game. That's going to be a recurring theme for how I talk. But the fact that it's drop in, drop out,
Right.
and that you can customize your exosuit to fit your play style and just your aesthetic and all that kind of stuff was really cool to me, because I noticed there was the one that we saw from the player, which was I think the Ranger, so like the balance.
Right.
I think
Then there
that's
was
what
the
you said.
Colossus, which had the mortar, and he was like a bigger tank character. And there was a third one. There were actually four, but the third one was literally just floating.
I
Yeah.
saw that. That was
That's who I want to be when we play this.
So
Yeah.
I noticed that person showed up, and I'd have to like look at like the video again and like maybe go frame by frame. But when they start like running again, at one point it looks like that person just teleports somewhere else.
Yeah, I honestly think they do, because if you look at propulsion, isn't by like jets, it's something on their legs that looks more like an energy field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I thought they were like magic somehow or something
That's the
because
vibe I got to, kind of like the Destiny Warlock archetype.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But for Anthem, though, I mean, I've been taking notes for basically everything I've seen at E3. I didn't take notes for Anthem, because that's the kind of game it was.
Right.
Because I knew once I saw this, it all stuck. I was going to go watch that trailer again and again. I was going to do research. And it was that's just... Ubisoft for me this year was lacking a big reveal.
Mm-hmm.
That was my Ubisoft review. Anthem was.
Mm-hmm.
I walked away wanting more. I just wanted to know everything about this game that I could, and that's a good reveal for me. Like, that's the kind of E3 surprise that I always look forward to every single year.
Right. That's awesome. All right, Brody, what's your number one?
Let me check, but I'm pretty sure I know it. It was Monster Hunter World.
Oh, okay. For PlayStation.
Yes, and Xbox, and eventually PC.
PC, yeah.
Is it coming to the Switch at all, or they have Switch
No.
has a separate?
Switch, because I saw you say something about it. You thought one was there is one coming to Switch, but it's only for Japan. Capcom confirmed, I think 2 days ago, that the West is getting this new game, World, and Japan's getting Double Cross, which was the XX.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it looks awesome. I watched Pro Jared talk about it today, and there's a bunch of stuff that's different, and then like a bunch of stuff that they kept the same that people were worried about. Like, some people were worried that, like, in the game when you go on hunts, there's 3 cart returns, and it's like, if you die 3 times, or it's usually 4 people in a hunt, but once like all 3 of those cart returns are like used up, like, that's it, the hunt's over. You can't keep going. So that's still there. They've made it to where you can go back to camps that you start at and switch out your gear if you have a weapon that does elemental damage, but it's like, this monster is strong against it, I'm not doing any damage. You can run back to your camp and actually change stuff now. There's scout bugs, I think is what he called them. I can't remember what the name of them. Scent flies, I think, was what it was. Which were those green
Scout
things.
bugs.
Yeah, they were the green things flying.
Oh,
everywhere.
okay. That dropped characters in.
Yeah. Well, no,
okay.
those were like pterodactyls.
I was about to say, yeah, I didn't.
No, it's like the green stuff like flying around.
Oh,
everywhere.
the firefly things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in this game, instead of just kind of like walking from each area to area, which areas are open now, there's no loading screen between each area, which is awesome. You find like tracks and stuff,
Right.
and that's what those help you do.
Right. They showed that in that trailer.
And he said all the weapons are still there. Like, there's some different stuff. You can find like health objects. I wonder like what kind of, because in the other ones you had to find a bunch of stuff to mix potions together. I wonder if like potions are still going to be a thing.
You obviously cook.
Yeah. Well, when you eat in the old games, when you ate steak or whatever, your character had to like stop, eat, and then flex or whatever. And that was kind of annoying, but they've done away with that. You actually eat and like can use like health potions and stuff, and you move, but you move slower, kind of in a Dark Souls Bloodborne way. There's new monsters he talked about. There was a bunch of other stuff. If you haven't watched this video,
well, I was just going to throw in, and you can tell me if this is in older games, but I really liked when he's sneaking up on that dinosaur thing. What'd you call him? A Jaggy or something like that?
It's not a Jaggy. He said it's a new one.
Okay, well, when he comes up on that newer monster, he like throws a bunch of leaves over him and kind of makes like a leaf outfit.
That was a thing.
Is that an old thing?
That is a new thing.
I really thought that was kind of cool.
Those are called mantles in this game, and there's different ones. Like that one does stealth. There's other ones you can wear that increase your attack and stuff like that.
I saw also in the trailer they showed there was that where he threw on leaves, but then later he like takes one off and it almost looked like it was black, like it was like I don't know what to call it, but like almost like a cloak that he threw off. And I assumed it was just he took off those leaves, but it looked a lot different. So I was curious if that was something that was maybe affecting attack or something. But
I'm not sure, maybe. But what was some other stuff? New way to get stuff. They've added grapple hooks for like everybody. Everybody gets one.
Right. Hey,
So-
you get a grapple hook. You get a grapple hook.
So that's going to be interesting. He said that you can like use them to like pick up rocks and throw them at monsters and stuff. And what else was there? Monsters like apparently chase you. He said that in the older games.
Right, because he led that monster all the way back through that path we had seen in the trailer.
Yeah, and it was like in the older games, you would have to throw poop at a monster to make it go to a different area, and like you just have to keep doing that over and over and over again until it got to the area that was like the best for fighting it.
Right.
And this time you can just lead it to it.
That's nice.
I also read that there's like an ecosystem with this new one where like monsters that are smaller on the food chain won't attack the bigger guys, but if they see the bigger monster starting to weaken, they'll see that as an opportunity to attack.
Oh, that'd be cool. That's interesting.
So there's actually like the monsters themselves have kind of a tier system of which they're also trying to get each other in some way.
He said that he went to 2 different showings. That one was a single player, one was multiplayer. But it was like the first thing kind of started off or whatever, and it was a smaller monster that they were trying to find, and they found it, and then like some other monster just came up and like ate it in one bite, and it was like, okay, now you're following this monster, and I was like, huh, okay,
wow.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited for that, and that's probably going to be a game that I try to get all my friends to buy so that they'll play with me.
I'm right there with you.
It definitely sounds like they've made a lot of improvements that needed to be made, and it's going to be a good iteration of the game. We'll go ahead.
Me and you both tried.
I tried to play the most recent one, I think, and I just couldn't get into it. Not on 3DS. It was on another system. Maybe Wii U? I think it was Wii U.
That's not the most recent one.
What was on Wii U?
3U Ultimate.
3U Ultimate?
3 Ultimate, I guess.
I tried that one, and I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah. It was like, I think it would have been a lot more fun if we realized that we could have played together, like, from the very beginning, but we just didn't understand the game.
Yeah.
And the 4, I played 4, and 4 definitely throws you into the game a lot faster. But 3 Ultimate was like super slow at the beginning. You'd have to grind a lot and keep doing the same missions over and over again. And it was like, go here and pick 10 of these or something. And it was like, I could see why people wouldn't like this. And I think that's kind of what they're doing away with this one. So that, because Monster Hunter is definitely like a niche thing. Not a lot of people are into it. But I bet now it'll probably start getting bigger.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about another one. So, my second, I'm going to say, was Assassin's Creed Origins. That trailer that they showed at, I guess it was Microsoft, the first one that they really showed.
Yeah, which was weird.
Yeah, I was really surprised at that. But it looked really, really good. It had a bow, which is a requirement for me to pre-order anything. The combat looked good. Everything just looked like it was revamped. Like they spent some time. There's a loot system. A lot of RPGs. You can carry 2 weapons or 2 of each kind of weapon, and like it actually shows that. Like I don't know.
It's like dude had 2 bows on his bow.
Yeah, like well, when he first took that other bow, I was like, oh, it replaced whichever one like he wanted as his primary. But then he actually took one out, and the other one was still on his back. And we were just like, can you imagine having 2 of each thing? And surely you can upgrade that to have another one. It was just like, that's going to be so much going on. But I thought it looked really good. I thought the combat looked like it's gotten picked up better.
Definitely, you can like parry and stuff now.
They showed a boss fight, like a gladiator battle with him. And, I used to love in like Assassin's Creed 2, Ezio just felt like a god. I mean, you could counter anyone and kill them in one hit. This god, I watched this dude, this boss, I watched this guy fight him for 30 minutes to an hour, and he like had barely taken out.
Is this in Origins?
This is in Origins, yes.
Jeez.
I mean, fought a guy for 30 minutes at least before he finally beat him. And I mean, it was a boss and it was a gladiator battle. They wanted that to take a while, I'm sure. But it was crazy. I mean, the combat looks so different. And then I don't know if there's going to be a lot of mystical elements in this or what, but that bow shot at the end where he like mind bent the bow into the guy's head, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And then using the bird to tag people.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to have anything to do with it, but they did say it's going back to like the origins of everything. So I'm wondering if that's going to be... I wouldn't think it is, because all the gods that they've mentioned so far, like in the games, have been Greek. So I'm not really sure. I don't know.
There is going to be a pretty substantial mystical element, I think. Because from what they showed, like I think there was like the giant serpent.
So I'd say the giant serpent.
There was
Which in the second game there was like a crypt you could find that had like some kind of weird octopus thing in it, but you didn't get to fight it.
Was that anything more than an Easter egg though?
No, that was just an Easter egg. So this is like the first time that something like that's not like a Greek god is like in the game.
Right.
That's mystical, I guess.
Well, and this will be the furthest back we've ever been in the story, like as far as history goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
it's the origin of the Brotherhood.
Exactly.
Pontiac apparently is the one that forms the actual Brotherhood of Assassins.
Gotcha. I wonder if that means we're going to have some gameplay like in Brotherhood, where we had a group of assassins we could call them in. That was one of my favorite things.
Mine too.
So that would be awesome. But anyway,
I'm pretty excited for it. They've actually got me excited again because it did kind of get stale. Like, Brotherhood was probably like the peak of my favorite Assassin's Creed games, and then Revelations was like, okay, I'd still enjoy this, and then after that was just kind of like,
they needed a break to refresh, and I think they've done that. They've definitely piqued my interest. I think there's a lot of new stuff there, and I'm sure there's a lot they didn't show in that trailer that we'll see either later on or once we start playing. But I'm excited about that one.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, either of you. They said that this one has a climb anything system, right?
I haven't heard that.
Did they?
I haven't heard that either. It wouldn't surprise me though.
I hope so.
I mean, you can kind of climb anything anyway in Assassin's Creed.
I guess it's true, but that was my favorite thing of Breath of the Wild is like I could literally climb anything.
Yeah.
Except if it was raining.
Well, if Zelda did it, there's no reason they can't do it.
No, for sure. All right, Steven, what's your next game?
My next game. I'm going to name two very briefly here.
Okay.
First, I mentioned Metro Exodus earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely up there, but I didn't have enough really to say about it to warrant the whole segment here. But have either of you guys played the Metro series before?
No.
No, Carter was pretty big into it, which is my brother.
My favorite, horror story-driven game. Like, 'cause it's a good shooter, but it also has elements of horror and survival. And it was just really good to see the franchise wasn't dead, because we had no word of a new Metro game coming out until they showed it at Microsoft. So I was really happy to see that.
Yeah.
But other than that,
it certainly looked interesting. I would be interested in seeing more and seeing how it plays.
The first two games go on sale on PlayStation like all the time for like $5 each.
Well, I was about to say they're on sale right now. A lot of the PlayStations had a E3 Play sale or something. That's just basically any new games that are coming out. Their old series are on sale right now. So,
which I do want to say, the music for Metro that they used in the trailer was freaking awesome. Which also was apparently a remix of. It was originally used in 24 Days Later. Maybe is that the movie? But it was also used in Kick-Ass, the scene that Big Daddy wrecked that warehouse. So that was pretty interesting to find out.
That's funny.
I definitely recommend you guys play them. They're some of my favorite games. But they also confirmed that the game itself has no exclusivity anywhere. They just wanted to show it off at Microsoft. So same game for Xbox is going to be the same game for PlayStation.
That's good.
But
what was that other game you had?
That other game was A Way Out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And Jake, I was texting you when they announced this one.
A Way Out?
I don't know if you've seen anything about it.
That was probably the most exciting thing for me out of EA's. And I think it really surprised a lot of people, and I think it's piqued the interest of a lot of people.
And it was just something that was so brilliant that it hadn't leaked as far as I know.
Yeah.
No one expected it. But it's this couch co-op. It's designed for couch co-op. It's a split screen game where you play as two guys trying to break out of prison and trying to stay out of prison.
Right.
And what's really cool about it is that you have to play a co-op.
It's
but also
required, yeah.
Both stories of both characters, whether they're together or not, are happening at the same time on both screens.
Right.
So it's like you're seeing two different stories at the exact same time that connect through the character's bond.
Right.
My question is, if I played online, because they did say online is an option, am I going to still be seeing the split screens, or am I going to just be on one screen? Because the way they tell the story, it almost seems like you have to see both screens at the same time.
I kind of feel like it would be still split screen. Now, I don't know that for sure, but I feel like that, because to me that's the whole point of the game, is that you're constantly seeing, and like, a co-op game, like, I mean, it's from the guys who made Two Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Which we played on the channel briefly. I don't know if I ever aired that episode, but
it was it wasn't a Let's Play game.
It wasn't a good one, but there's co-op games like that all the time where you either are stuck on each other's screen, or there's online games where you can play and you don't have split screen and whatnot. But to have a game that it has to be done in co-op is just awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm sure somebody, I'm sure you could work a way around it. There may even be a mode that you can turn the co-op off, but I mean, it's designed to play in co-op. And I just love that. I think it's really, really exciting. I hate that it's 2018 because I want to play it now, but at least they'll have some time to flesh it out and make it really, really good. I hope they'll see this excitement that's around it, and they'll really, really hammer down.
That there's no way to play single player. You have to play a co-op.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
Which I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
I'm always itching for a co-op game.
Yeah, I definitely want to try and play that for the channel when it comes out. That'll be a series for sure. But anyway, all right, Brody, what's your second? Or Steven, were you done? Was there anything else you wanted to say about?
Yeah, that was my second. Yeah.
That's a really exciting one. I'm excited about
definitely.
that one.
My second was Mario Odyssey, but you took that, so I will
What's
say
next?
that my third is Kirby.
Oh
Just
yeah,
Kirby.
the Just Kirby game that's coming out in 2018.
It looks fun.
Yeah, it looked really, really good. I'm usually not into side scrollers, but it looked fun.
It does.
And
It brings back the system from the 64 game of being able to combine Kirby's powers to make
Right.
new powers, which was my favorite part of the 64 game.
Right.
And I haven't used it since then.
Right.
So I'm really excited that it's back.
Yeah, we've needed a good Kirby game.
Yeah.
They've, other than DS, I don't think they've had any. I don't think there was one on the Wii U, was there?
Yeah, there was.
There was? What was
Yeah,
it?
what is it called? It was the one with the Kirby was like made of clay.
Oh, it was like a Yoshi yarn.
Kind of, but you like use the
Kirby.
The stylus to like guide Kirby like around the world and stuff.
That's right.
I
Well,
can't remember the name of it.
I'm glad to see something on Switch for Kirby.
Yeah.
And it looks good so far.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Steven, did you have anything about Kirby? Have you ever played any of those Kirby games?
I love Kirby on Smash. I've never played a Kirby game.
That's kind of how I am. I played the Air Rider one, where they
yeah.
were all on vehicle or whatever the hoverboards were. I really liked those. I can't think of any other one that I've ever played. I'm sure there's one in there in the mix, but none that really stick out. But I like the character, and the game they showed so far looks really good. So I'm excited to see more about that. All right, my number 3 is Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom.
I think you were the only one that had this one down.
I am probably the only one that has this down. This was like the worst kept secret ever. People knew this was coming. People have been worried about it. We had that leaked photo that showed what it was.
We even talked about it on a podcast.
We've talked about it on a previous podcast.
We were both just like, who did this?
Like, who asked for this?
Yeah.
Is what I said. I still said I would probably get it because it's coming out on the Switch. And I basically, any Switch game, I'm giving it more leeway because it's the Switch game. But
here you are, and it's in your top 3.
And it's in my top 3. So, well, the reason I say that is it looks really, really good from the gameplay that they've shown.
Are you
and
just saying this
the
because
trailer.
you saw the picture of the developer crying?
No, but that makes it sweet.
That was such a touching moment.
That was
It humanizes games because there's a person behind every game who cries when they're done and they see it.
I don't remember if it was
story about the project lead, the guy that was crying in the audience.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, way back in the day before he was developing games, he heard that the guy who created Mario,
Miyamoto.
Miyamoto, yeah, thank you, that he was at a hotel that was nearby him. So he went outside the hotel and waited for 10 hours just to get his autograph.
Oh, wow.
And now he's developing this game.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just a cool.
That's really cool.
Human story, touching moment.
Another thing of like the human, I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, but what was that? What was that game with like the yarn character?
Unravel.
That was
PS4.
the dev talking about it, and he was like sitting there shaking and stuff, and it's just like you don't usually see that of like someone like a developer being like scared to talk about it, but really proud of it too.
Right.
And he had like his own little like yarny he made or whatever, and like took pictures with him everywhere, and I was like, oh,
that's awesome.
And that's what's cool about hearing about the indie developers, because once you get these guys who are working like teams of 5 and just small teams making these big games, when they get to come up to the E3 stage, it's just a really big moment. And that's really cool when they're allowed to do those kinds of things.
Yeah. But anyway, back to Mario.
Yes,
Rabbids Kingdom. Seeing the gameplay, it wasn't what I was expecting, but I really liked it. It's all strategic, all strategy. A lot like XCOM, Steven, you were talking about earlier.
Love some XCOM, yeah.
It looks good, and they showed during the Treehouse Live, they showed some more gameplay, and they kind of showed, each character has a certain ability. Like apparently Yoshi is a sniper character. He's not good close up, but he's really powerful if you keep him from a distance.
see like snipe with eggs.
No, not Yoshi. I'm sorry, Luigi. Sorry,
Okay.
Luigi. Luigi is like a sniper character. But it was really cool. Like they have a lot of really cool like touches. Like Luigi's base weapon is the vacuum from Mario and Luigi Mansion.
Yeah.
But it's a sniper rifle basically.
It's a sniping vacuum.
It's a sniping vacuum. So they showed some like different weapons, and like I think each character has like maybe 10 weapons or so, and there could be more. That's just as far as they took us.
Mm-hmm.
But each weapon has different buffs, obviously, and different looks. Like Mario has that cannon on him that looks like Mega Man's cannon. Well, there's one, I think it's the one that Miyamoto had, that looks like a bullet bill shooter and stuff like that. So each character has their own unique ability with different strategies. I think you can have 3 characters with you at all times or something like that. So I don't know. It looked good. The gameplay looks fun. I don't think it'll be, a crazy big success, but I think it has me excited, and I'm genuinely interested in it.
At the very least, it's a good sign that Nintendo is willing to let other developers play with their characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it was interesting, they talked a little bit about kind of their discussions with Nintendo at first, and it was, they told them, like, you can do this, but we want you to make a Mario game that's never been made before. Like, we want you to do something completely off the wall. And I don't know that Rabbids was the right direction, but the gameplay that they have here, I'm really excited about.
I will say it looks interesting, and I probably will pick it up. Mm-hmm. I just wish there wasn't Rabbids.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm most excited about, unlocking Luigi and Peach so that I don't have to have any Rabbids on my team.
Just filling your squad with pure Mario?
I'm going to have a pure Mario squad.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play the game as if I'm trying to get rid of these Rabbids. That's how I'm going to play the whole game. So, anyway. Sorry, Steven, you were going to say something?
Was I?
Oh, I thought you were gearing up to say something.
No.
But, well, I'm done with that. Steven, what's your third that you're most excited about?
I was torn. I wanted to talk about something that we all kind of had something to say about. Detroit Become Human.
Oh, yeah. That one's really good.
That one, like, I wanted that game when they announced it last year, and what they showed. I mean, I'm always in for a good story-driven title, but just the amount of branching decisions that you can go through. Because I've been watching the floor for E3 all week, so I've been fortunate to listen to some developers talk about some of the games that I'm actually interested in, and Detroit was one of them. And he was saying how in the campaign, in the story, there are 3 characters that you control.
Okay.
And there's no such thing as a game over screen. So you can make a false decision, killing one of the main characters very early on, and the game proceeds, rewriting the story from that point on with the understanding that one of those characters is dead.
So kind of
Wow.
like, did you play Until Dawn?
I know enough about it. Yeah.
That's what I've been comparing this to in my head. Is Detroit is like the next level of Until Dawn.
I only watched one person's Let's Play of Until Dawn, but I don't know if it was that intense if someone died.
Like, they literally were saying that there is a different path for almost every single decision. Like, it's prepared for any kind of messed up continuity you create with your decisions. And what we saw at the Sony press conference, that was gameplay.
Right.
That wasn't a trailer.
Right.
And that looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Did we get a release date on that beyond 2018?
I think it was just 2018 on that one too. That's one I still want to see more before I pre-order. Right. And you kind of lightened up a lot of it. I've been curious, who are we playing this game as? But knowing that there's multiple characters, that makes a lot more sense. But
last year they showed the one guy that was in the hostage negotiation.
Right.
And then this year it's Marcus, who's like the leader of the Android Revolution. So you're not only playing. It sounds like you're not going to be playing 3 characters that share the same ideology. Right. You're going to be playing 3 different sides of the
same story
entirely. So some villains, some good guys, some in between.
That's awesome. Really cool. That's really, really cool.
Did you play Heavy Rain? Or what was his other one? Soul Suspect, I think?
I know a little bit more about Soul Suspect than I do Heavy Rain, but I haven't played either of them.
All I know about not Sean. I was just going to say all I know about him. Sean! Have you never seen that?
I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
I'll have to show you that. It's the funniest video ever. Okay, sorry.
I don't think I could ever take Heavy Rain seriously after how much the internet has just taken it and run with it.
Yeah.
All right, Brody, what was your next game?
Let me check. Because I'm at my 4th now. So this is the last one we're going to talk about, right?
We might cover really briefly what our honorable mentions were, but Brody is
because both of these last 2 are pretty good.
We can name drop the next one, but we can't have like a full discussion about it.
Okay. I took 2. You can have 2.
Okay. Spider-Man.
Yep.
How have we not talked about Spider-Man yet?
I don't know.
You know, I'll be honest with you. It's not even on my top 5 list that I've prepared for this. I'm still a little nervous about it.
I'm not.
What has you nervous?
I played, I think it was Web of Shadows, maybe. It was one that was fairly recent, like within the...
Is that the one that you get to play as a bunch of different Spider-Men?
That's Shattered Dimensions.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think it was that one. It was a different one. Kingpin was the villain in that one, in this one that I played, though. And just a lot of what we saw looked like how that game felt. What I mean by that is QuickTime events. The combat was very similar. Like, you do a certain combo and then he like does a short cinematic, slam down or throw against a wall, that sort of thing. I don't know. I guess if I had to sum it up, I feel like there's too many cinematics.
Yeah.
And it makes the game look awesome. But I don't like that fighting style. Yeah. Like in Arkham Asylum, that's one of the best just beat 'em up melee.
Definitive superhero game.
It really is. That combat, there's not cinematics. There's not once you just slam a guy down. There's not some short shot where that happens. There's maybe occasionally when you like nail a counter or something.
Yeah.
Honestly,
but
though, like to me, Spider-Man, just his movement style, his fighting style is just so all over the place that they kind of have to make it to where it's a little bit cinematic.
Right.
Because he's a hard being to control. And the whole QuickTime events thing, the way I've justified it is that, Spider-Man, the Spider Sense is a thing, so they have to justify that somehow. They have to represent it in some way, and QuickTime events are the easiest way to do that.
Right.
But they did say in an article that I read that QuickTime events aren't going to be as present as they seemed.
Okay,
I saw that too.
I see, and that's. I kind of want to just see more. I want to watch somebody play it instead of like a demo gameplay. But I don't know. I'm just a little worried, but I'm still open to it. So
I'm hoping so. One thing I've seen is people talking about that Miles was shown in it.
Yeah. I was just about to say that's the only thing that really has me like super hooked.
Some people think that like that opening scene we saw was like just the tutorial, and that after that Peter's gonna die somehow, so we play as Miles the rest of the game, but have to like level Miles up to be as good as Peter was.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, see, that's what I've been wondering, if he's gonna die somehow, but I don't know that they're gonna kill off Peter.
Are you ready for me to debunk that, like right now?
Yes, go ahead, please.
And they did say, maybe this is a misdirect, but they did say that this Spider-Man game is the story of Peter Parker. He's 23 years old. So it's not college Peter, which is good, because I mean, it's not high school Peter, because we've had enough of high school Peter. But they did say this is Peter Parker's story. Miles Morales will be present. Maybe he'll show up in later games. And my biggest question about Spider-Man, I'm sold on it. I'm getting it. That's no question. Mm-hmm. But my biggest concern is, I know that Marvel is trying to revamp their video games because, DC's killing it with Arkham.
Right.
Marvel's trying to respond. And so they're attempting, apparently, to start a video game universe because they've got Square Enix is working on an Avengers title.
Right, that Avengers title. I had forgotten about that. I'm surprised we didn't see that, but Square didn't come, so...
For some reason, I thought they had a panel. Like
they usually do, but they didn't this year. Sorry, continue, Steven.
No, you're good, so my thought is, I'm wondering, does this Spider-Man game kick off the Marvel game universe? And with the addition of Miles... Unless if his role is immediate, like he plays a huge role in this game,
right?
That kind of tells me they're setting up for a franchise, a series,
right?
Which is exactly what they need to do, because part of the charm of Marvel is just its continuity. And if they can bring that to the video games, that's something that we've been waiting on.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Just imagine, having so many, like having a Thor game, having a Iron Man game, having a Captain America game, and then having an Avenger game where all of those things somehow connect and determine something.
If they do an Iron Man game, it better have Anthem's Flight in it.
Awesome. Okay.
So should I say my last one? I'll just name drop.
Why don't you start with our honorable mentions then, Brody?
My last one is the new God of War.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. I can't believe that wasn't higher on our list.
It looks interesting. I actually really love, and probably longtime fans of the series don't care for it, but the combat looks awesome.
The combat looks really, really good. I have only played, I think, one
we played
of
3
the
together.
God of War. We played 3. And I enjoyed it, but I don't know. I think it was too... There was too much gore just for sake of gore, and there was too much nudity just for sake of nudity. Is that a good way to say that?
I guess.
I don't know. What I've seen so far seems like it's going to be just awesome combat and like maybe just grotesque monsters.
Yeah.
And not so much you have sex to heal yourself or whatever it was. Do what now?
I'm wrapped into the story already.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
His son.
I'm super...
He gives me a huge Joel Ellie vibe from Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm super excited just because I find the Norse gods way more interesting than
I do too.
The Greek gods.
That's really the setting, and then the all of that has me so much more excited.
Like,
I wasn't expecting the kid to be with you the whole time. Like the demo they showed at Sony last year, I thought that was just kind of a sequence that was going to happen, but like we saw the kid like jumping around, shooting his bow.
Yeah. But it's like the thing that has me excited is like seeing like the world serpent and stuff, and the more I've seen people read or talk about it, is that like
it's part of Ragnarok.
Yeah, they think that Kratos is gonna cause Ragnarok.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So
it would make sense.
I'm really excited. The tone, the Norse gods, all that is really, really interesting. That will be a good
And they
game.
said early 2018 for that one, didn't they?
Early 2018.
So
I'm
March.
Yeah. I'm not upset that we didn't get a firm date for that one, but I am a little surprised. I figured we would have gotten a firm date for that one, but But anyway, I'll start off with my other two. So neither of y'all overlapped on my top 3, I don't think. So
no, I'm sorry.
Other than Mario Odyssey, maybe. But the other one I'm really excited about is Pokemon coming to Switch, which we kind of mentioned that. But I'm really, really excited that they're doing an RPG on the Switch. I loved, I think it was Coliseum, Pokemon Coliseum, and then I can't remember what the other one was, where you had, there was a second one, maybe it was DX, I don't know. But I've loved those where it was an RPG on the GameCube, you were running around in the world, 3D, all of that on my big screen TV. It was great. That's all I want. I just want that. I want to be able to play a Pokemon game on my
You
home
can have
screen.
it on your big screen, and you can take it on the
And
go.
I can take it on the go. So I'm really, really excited about that. The other one that I think you'll both agree, why wasn't this higher on our list, is Shadow of Colossus Remake.
I know why it wasn't on mine, but I am really excited for it.
I mean, the reason it's so low on there is because it's a remake for me, but it looks so good.
It
and I've
really
only
does.
played parts of the other one, and if they improve, certain little things, it's going to be awesome. And from what I've seen, what I've read, it says it's a complete remake. They just started from the ground up and redid everything.
I'm okay with that.
I don't think they gave us a date for that one, but I'm really, really excited about it. Steven, any other honorable mentions you had in there?
Well, I spent a lot of time these past few days. Like when I got home from work, it was, I sat down, turned on the floor,
Right.
with Rooster Teeth and all that. And so I did see a lot of stuff on the floor that we didn't see at press conferences. Like, I'll just quick name drop some of these. XCOM 2's getting an expansion. Super excited about that. Love that game. Lego Marvel Superheroes 2.
Oh, yeah, I saw some gameplay of that today.
It sounds so awesome. Because they're doing King the Conqueror, so a lot of time travel.
Right.
And the hub world is Chronopolis, so it's a combination of all the different worlds. So, like, Noir, New York is in there, so Spiderman Noir is in the game.
Ah, okay.
Wakanda, Atalan, all that kind of stuff. So it's like the ultimate Marvel crossover game, and Lego games are just mindless fun. So can't get enough of those.
I might have to look into that one more.
Yeah, definitely look into that one. There was a real quick on this one. There was a horror game called Observer that's coming out very soon. It's made by the guys who did Layers of Fear.
Yeah, I started to look through that.
Basically, the gist is it's like you play this investigator in the future where you can hack into people's minds.
Yeah.
And you're like hunting this serial killer, and you find one of his victims who was a convicted felon, and so you hack into his mind. But when you hack into people's minds, you witness their fears. So when you hacked into this convict's mind, you were inside of a interrogation room, and like the walls were closing in, the fan was acting really erratically. But I normally don't like horror games, but that just sounds like super cool to me.
Yeah.
I heard about that one like the first night when they were just interviewing with Jeff Keighley, and I was like, yeah, I need that. So there were just so much. Like I could talk for probably an hour about just the stuff I saw before when I was watching this week's, but I won't do that.
There was a lot of great stuff. I mean, what would you guys say overall this E3? I mean, I feel like I think it got better as it went on, but overall I don't know that I'm quite as excited as I was last year. But I'm
like
still very
year,
happy.
Every year I feel like I get less and less excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I feel like, especially like, there was one point where it was just like, it didn't seem like there was any good games coming out.
Right.
But it seems like since, I'd say like, the end of 2016, things have been picking back up again.
Yeah.
So this is probably the first E3 that I've been like, yeah.
Woo! Well, and I think there's a lot of things that they just didn't bring to E3 this year. Like Kingdom Hearts, we're going to hear a lot about that at D23. So I feel like there's some things that people were just holding back, which is weird because I feel like E3 is usually where you let it all out. You just blow it all out. But I feel like E3 is becoming less and less important to like shine your game. It's almost better if you announce your game separately on your own time. But anyway.
I feel like E3, my biggest problem with it this year was that I wasn't surprised a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why, again, going back to Anthem, that's why it was such a big deal for me because, I've been watching E3, following it, Facebooking it, tweeting it, whatever, you guys know that, for the past several years. And every time I'm always looking for that, that Watchdog, the Division, all that kind of stuff that just blows my mind that I literally have to recoup from it after I watch it. And I didn't get any of that last year, and this year that was Anthem for me, and that's why I watch E3. That's what I look forward to for E3, and I just feel like we're starting to lose that. because with all these leaks happening, it's just harder and harder to keep secrets. So I would say this year for me, E3 was pretty weak. There was a lot of stuff that I was really happy to hear about, but I wasn't super duper impressed.
Yeah. That's kind of how I would sum it up too. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in and checking out this episode of Chortle Cast. Really appreciate you listening, and hope you've maybe heard a game name that you missed in E3, or there's a whole lot of news to catch up on, so I'm sure we've brushed over a couple of things. There were some things we probably wish we could have gotten to talk about and had a chance to talk about, but anywho, thanks for listening. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you were most excited about seeing at E3. What are you looking forward to most? And you can do that in several ways. If you're watching on YouTube, you're already at chortlegames.com, and you can leave us a nice little comment in that video. If you're listening through podcast services, you can leave us a nice little review. iTunes is the best way to do that at this point. So do that. We'd love to read those. You can also send us an email at chortlecast at gmail.com. You can send us an email there. Let us know what topics you'd like to hear us do. We've started to do some bonus episode things that I'll talk about in a minute here. If you've got an idea for that, we'd love to hear some suggestions. But lastly, but not least, you can tweet us at Chortle Games on Twitter, and we'll tweet you back. Yeah. So thanks, Steven. Thank you for being a part of our podcast this week.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
For having me.
Your insight is always welcome and great. Steve, we're starting to get Steven more involved with the channel. He's done some tweeting for us during E3. We're working on a couple other projects with him that we're looking forward to. So if you liked having Steven in this video, let us know. That way and if you didn't, let us know. That way we know to stop any of those projects immediately, so we don't waste any time. But so thanks Steven, for coming on and being a part. We really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward for next week. We're going to have some more Night in the Woods. We're getting close, I think, to the end of that series. Hopefully, Brody is getting sick of it. Brody is just tired of it. It's just going on too long. We've kind of been playing around where we just we'll wander and we'll find some kind of crazy things, but we are full steam ahead. We are going from point A to point B, getting things done, trying to finish up that series. So if you're enjoying it, continue to watch it. Leave us some comments on those and let us know. But we'll have Night in the Woods on Monday. Wednesday, I don't think I've actually started on Wednesday's video yet. But it's going to be... Oh, no, I have. It's Clicker... No, we already did that one. What am I working on?
Do something wacky.
Wacky. Oh, it's going to be ARMS, because that's what we're going to play this weekend.
Wacky Inflatable Flailing Arm 2 Man.
Yeah! So ARMS will be this Wednesday. That's what we're going to play, so that'll be fun. It'll be me and Brody versus each other. Hopefully neither one of us will punch each other in the face.
I guarantee that it might happen once or twice.
Probably will happen once or twice, so look forward to that. And then last but not least, Friday we'll have another podcast for you, but it'll be a special podcast because we're going to have Lee Allison and Alexanne on it, and we're not going to be really talking about anything. We're going to play a game.
Yeah, it's our first emergency episode.
Yeah, emergency episode. We're going to play this game called Nuclear Winter. So it's pretty fun. It's kind of a word game, but it's really cool. Steven's involved unintentionally by accident. So I'm glad we got to introduce you, Steven, so that people will understand what we're talking about in the game next week. So anyway, but it'll be really fun. It'll be a kind of fun episode. So look forward to that next Friday. So anywho, any closing thoughts, Brody?
If you look forward to E3 next year...
It's 365 days away.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.